I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, and with that comes some cringe-worthy middle school OCs. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Back in 2018 to 2019, I created a group of rainbow characters that perfectly embody who I was at the time, and still am. And each character was inspired by a different color of the rainbow. I always pictured them as being some sort of doll line or just characters who are friends with each other in their own little world. They all have their own little flaws, but for the most part, not the worst character I've designed. Once we get into it, you'll see how nothing burger these characters actually are. So my goal for today is to redesign them how I always imagined them to be. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with the red character, this is Ruby. Back in the day, I really liked the cool, nonchalant characters, but since I made her the chill one, and her the angsty one, and her the mellow one, and her the chill one, there's only so many adjectives you can use before they all just start becoming the same character. But I'm keeping that in her personality. Something else I did besides monochromatic colors was incorporating a different shape into each of the designs. Ruby's shape used to be a rose, which isn't actually a shape now that I think about it. So I changed it to a square. Her OG design had these thigh-high leggings, which reminded me so much of scene fashion, so I played into that with her design. I also added raccoon stripes to her outfit to incorporate the theme of stripes. Now, I know some of you might not agree with this design choice, but I decided to give them all human skin tones. I know what my younger self was trying to go for, originally making them all white, but I decided to change it for more diversity within the group and to help them further stand out from each other. I also changed up their body types, but don't worry, I'm still keeping their shapes and monochromatic colors. So yeah, I'm not losing the essence of what makes these characters their characters. Guys, she was so hard for me to redesign because I actually love the original design. I can count on one hand how many times I've drawn these characters outside of this sketchbook, and 3 of those other times have been Ruby, so it's pretty obvious she used to be my favorite. Ruby is just a girl in the world who has her special interests. Ruby is the type of girl who grew up chronically online and knows everything. She's seen it all, so it's really hard to make her laugh. She likes to read, but I don't picture her reading anything educational. She'd be the type to read comics or go on Wattpad for sure. Yeah, I see that in her future. Or in her present. Here she is! I'm so obsessed with her new design. Oh, I love it so much. Now on to the pink character. Now listen, okay? Is pink part of the rainbow? No. But do I love the color pink? Yes, I do! So I decided to add her. She really cemented the idea in my younger head and expanded this whole world. Maybe in another video, I'll design new characters for this world, like a brown character, or black and white, or even gray. Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But this is Gail. I want you to guess what her thing was. Did you guess biker?
Huh?
I know it was pretty obvious because of the biker glove, but yeah, she rode a motorcycle. Her outfit was a little confusing before, so I'm making it more obvious in her new design. I think it's funny, out of all the hairstyles and of all the animals, she's probably the most impractical character to have a motorcycle. Also, I don't know if it's true that only boy goats have horns, or if girl goats can also have horns, but either way, it works for me. Some of the original inspirations for my characters when I first made them was that one sketchbook tour by Applemint. I basically just took her idea and made my own characters with it. And that one series that Drawing with Waffles did. Oh, so nostalgic. I love it so much. For the orange character, her design is going to change a lot, but also not that much at the same time. But her personality is staying the same because she was one of my favorites. But guys, this piece was a struggle. I just could not get her pose right, and I was trying to give her a muscular upper body and skinny little legs because I think that would be funny. I'm not sure if I executed it correctly because it just looks very disproportionate. Corey was the only one I actually thought about in terms of personality and how she'd act. She's very peppy and extroverted. Okay, whenever I think of the color orange, I think of Home Depot. So I decided to run with that and make her work at a grocery store. That's why her design includes a cute little apron and a hat. I imagine it's a small local shop that sells indoor and outdoor items, which is why she has boots, gloves, and an apron to keep her clothes from getting dirty. Instead of giving her an afro, I changed her hairstyle to 2 pigtails so that they could fit underneath her hat. Another thing that you'll notice in these redesigns is that I'm not leaving them 100% monochromatic. I'm not just using orange. By adding complementary colors, or adjacent colors as an accent color, it helps the original color pop more. For example, on her shirt, I'm using blue, which is complementary to orange, and adding red, which is next to orange on the color wheel. This gives your eye a break from all the same color and makes the main color, orange in this case, something stand out against it. Here's Corey! She's so adorable! You know, I feel like I'm dogging on my original designs a little too hard. They aren't actually that bad. I still think my younger self drawings actually hold up pretty well. I think they're cute and you can really tell I tried my best. That being said, your skirt is ugly. Salem got the biggest glow up out of all the characters because her original design makes absolutely no sense. For her new design, I wanted to lean into the emo style even more because that's what I was trying to do, but I gave her big baggy pants, a chain, and a tie. She's giving Avril Lavigne. How the heck? She's giving Avril Lavigne vibes, and I love it so much. Yellow was kind of a struggle because you can only do so much before you just go into orange. So I was really trying to do more yellow ochres, and her eyes were also so hard to make stand out because yellow is such a light color. She's an emo character, of course, and I wanted to give her hair over one of her eyes. I just love that in character designs, and I think it's so funny. Out of all her friends, she definitely has the lowest tolerance for their nonsense. Especially the next character. Now the green character is the most nothing burger, no sauce, no nothing character of them all. I mean, just look at her. What even is her personality? The green character changed the most of all the characters to the point where she's not even the same character anymore. Originally, Emerald was a hamster in really high heels so she could be the tallest in the group, but without them she was actually the shortest. I'm just not a fan of her outfit, if I'm being honest, but I really liked her being the tallest one, so I wanted to keep that in her new design. I worked on a lot of ideas off camera, but my issue was that I just couldn't get the outfit to match the vibe of the other characters. That's when my sister came up with the idea to make her a nerd, and a light bulb switched off in my brain. Super lanky, nerdy, loser character. I took her from being an anime magical girl to being obsessed with anime. She's also got a severe case of brain rot and is always quoting memes. The hamster was also just clashing with everything I came up with, so I decided to switch her into a cat. You know, cats and the internet go hand in hand, so it worked out perfectly. I changed her name from Emerald to Cindy because I feel like Emerald was just a little too on the nose, you know? The villager nose. I love cartoon characters who just have dots for eyes when they wear their glasses, so I knew I had to do that. I was concerned that she wouldn't fit with the other characters' designs, but I think the way that I rendered her really helped her look like she belongs in the same universe. Working on her even inspired me to think about how all the characters would interact with each other and think about how their personalities would mesh. I think it's also fun to take into account color theory. Pink and green are complementary colors, so I imagine that Gail and Cindy are dating each other. What can I say? I love the buff lesbian and loser dynamic so much, and I think they totally complement each other. Another example is that I'd imagine all the primary colors to get along, and the secondary colors to have their own vibe. It's like mixing colors on a palette, but with their personalities. It's so fun, and it makes me want to draw them all interacting so much. But for now, here's the brain-rotted cat herself, Cindy. All you need to know about Sylvana is that she was, and still is, a diva. You could definitely tell what kind of character she was out of all of them just by the props I gave her. And she actually had a unique expression that wasn't just sorry, got something in my throat there. Everything about her screams confidence and drama, but in the best way possible. I gave her a designer bag instead of generic shopping bags, and I kept her hair in a ponytail because I really liked it, but gave it more volume. Speaking of ponies, when I originally made these characters, My Little Pony was a big inspiration. I feel like I've strayed enough away from that influence, but the blue girl was definitely the hardest to redesign without making her look too similar to Rarity. Both Sylvana and Rarity are fashionistas, a little melodramatic, and iconic, but hopefully Sylvana is different enough while still capturing the essence of her character. I'd like to imagine that even if some of her friends don't have very similar things in common, they still enjoy each other's company. Like, for example, she'd take them to the mall, but then she'd play video games with them or go on a hike or something. Here is the diva herself, Sylvana! Oh my gosh, why is she looking at me like that? Okay. Okay, on to the last color of the rainbow. For Molly, she was originally a gardener character. I wanted to keep the essence of her being a gardener without actually making her one. I felt like that might make Corey's design and hers too similar to each other, so instead I gave her a super whimsical vibe. The original design was very Tumblr. She's rocking that flower crown. Molly is definitely the youngest of the group. She's very shy and sweet, and I love her curly lashes. I imagine that she gathers flowers while she's walking and puts them in her bag. And I love her braids. It makes such an interesting silhouette. I saw this outfit on Pinterest and I was like, this is her. So I based the entire outfit off of this. Here she is. Oh my god, I love her so much.
My Shayla!
And with Molly finished, we reached the end of the rainbow. Here are the final results. The character lineup! This definitely healed something in me. This is so satisfying. If my younger self saw this, she would probably explode. Redesigning all these guys got me so inspired to imagine what other characters might look like, so if you want to see a part 2, you know what you gotta do. This was just so fun to go back to drawing girls with animal ears and tails because that was like my favorite thing to draw back in the day, and it just re-inspired me to just have more fun with my art. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
dog the pebble.